Hi, and welcome to Kral Space. This is Kim Kral. I am your host. I am not reporting live, but I am in my closet. I do have some good, exciting news that's coming about for Kral Space, and I will give you more information at some point, but I think we're going to be taking some of this live. Not all of it. I still will record in my closet. I think I want to record in my closet in addition to live because this has become kind of a weird therapy session where I get out all the stuff that I think about into a microphone and then I put it out into the world, which isn't really a therapy session because that's supposed to be private. But I think with the lockdown and no stand-up comedy, this has become a good release because I was performing 5 times a week and now more usually, but minimum 5 times a week. And now I just sit in my apartment with my cats. I keep forgetting about the other one. I do have exciting news too. Speaking of stand-up comedy, I don't know how I feel about this, but we're going to do it because I don't know. We don't know how long we're going to be in lockdown. Or once lockdown is lifted, how long it'll be before stand-up can come back, because that's a pretty intimate thing, Not for me, but the audience. I can stay 6 feet away from a human when I do stand-up, but the audience sits pretty close to each other. But I have a weekly show at Flappers with a comedian, Tommy Rico. Flappers in Burbank, and we obviously had to stop doing that because of the lockdown and the pandemic. But this week we're back and we're doing a Zoom show. And then I'm also doing a Zoom show, I believe, on Saturday. So Zoom show Saturday, Zoom Flappers show hosting on Sunday. So I'm back at Flappers on Sunday night. I'm excited, kind of. I'm nervous. I don't know. I did I did a couple of Zoom rehab shows where I told jokes to rehabs. Normally we do that in person. And it was I think I've already shared the first one was awesome. And then the second one, they just looked at me like, who the fuck is this bitch on our, television screen talking about puking on dicks? And then the second one, or the third one, went really great again too. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. But if you are listening before Sunday, I think it's going to be every Sunday. So if you want a link to that or ticket information, please DM me and I will send you that. There's some of you that live in not California. Oh my God, my cat is figured out how to get in the closet, guys. I dumped a bunch of toys on the ground for him so he would leave me alone for hopefully an hour. And now I started talking and now he wants to come in here. I might have to let him in again. Last week when I let him in, it was a fucking disaster. So yeah, DM me if you want a link to that. I know that a lot of people in Colorado and all over the country would like to see my stand-up. But I will say, hold on, are you kidding me? Come on. And he's just pounding on the wall. I guess I don't even know if you can hear it. My neighbor, this makes me so mad and I don't know what to do about it because it's not a neighbor in my apartment complex. It's my neighbor that lives behind me who just bought the house behind my apartment complex. So there's nothing I can do about it because he isn't there's not a manager I can call. Not that I call the manager, but you know what I mean? The landlord. If there's one time I had a neighbor that lived below me. Thank God she moved out. Her boyfriend would come home from Iraq and threaten me with a gun not every time. It only happened one time, but it happened one night from I don't know, it was midnight to 5 a.m. It was 10 years ago. It was one of the scariest nights of my life, with just yelling through the walls that he was going to murder me with his gun. And then when I called my landlord to be hey, I'm really scared, I was this guy, I didn't know he was from Iraq. I was deployed from Iraq. I was the neighbor is threatening my life with his gun. And my landlord went, he comes home from Iraq every now and then. They throw a big party and he just gets out of hand. He'll be gone in a few days. I was no, that's not going to fly. What? No. I was you got to make him not do that. Now you've just confirmed that the gun is real. And then thank God they moved out a week later. And he was oh yeah, you're right. Maybe I should stop that. So these neighbors behind me, they can't call a landlord and be they from 7 a.m. to noon box loud, and not each other, but a punching bag. I know I've talked about it because it's so loud in all of the time, and it's the punching bag and then the like that. And then Then afterwards, they use either a power saw or a hammer for hours on end. And then once they're all done with their punching and sawing, they play techno until midnight. I don't know how no one else is going crazy. And it's one thing if we're all out living our lives and we're not here constantly, but we're on fucking lockdown. So tell me what to do. I don't know. I've thought about writing a strongly worded note and just putting it on the garage. Because you also have to understand there's safety involved too. Like, I can't go over there and be like, excuse me. Because, the last time I tried to do that, the guy who lived below me threatened me with a gun for 5 hours. So it's just like there's safety involved, but there's no one to, like, and you can't call the cops. I'm too scared to do that anyway. But, like, you can't call the cops because, like, what are you going to say? Like, they just make noise constantly all day in their house. Oh man, so I guess you can't hear it, but I've been waking up at 7 a.m. and not being able to go to bed till way past midnight. Techno, of all fucking things, too. You know what I mean? Like, if it was good music, I probably wouldn't be that upset. What was I saying? Oh, yeah. If you want Jesus. If you want to see me perform Zoom, my Flappers show, my weekly show, please DM me for ticket info. I'm assuming, I didn't look, but I'm assuming that there's a ticket price. Just to help support the club because they can't be open during this time. So DM me for all the information. I'll also put it all up on my Instagram, KYMKRAL. I would love to see your face. Also, supportive face, please, because also I think it's going to be super fucking awkward. Oh, man. It's just, and like, I don't know, do I stand up? I have a microphone that doesn't have a cord. Do I hold that? I thought about doing that. I have a Catwoman suit that I borrowed from my friend Katie. And I've been really wanting to put it on for some kind of Zoom something. Most of the Zooms I'm in are pretty serious Zooms. So if you do anything funny, it's not, no one laughs. It's like, get it together, Kim Kral. But this one, I might be able to wear a cat suit. I'm excited. I don't know how it's going to go. Honestly, I'm going to be very nervous. When I did the rehab shows, I was visibly shaking. I was like, why am I so fucking nervous? I don't know. It's so awkward. Like, stand-up is, in front of humans, and you work off those humans, and who knows, maybe I'll crush. It'll be awesome. So I'll love to see your guys' face. Oh, guys, I peed in the pool yesterday. I peed in the pool. I joke that I do that all the time, but truthfully, I haven't peed in the pool in a very, very long time. It was kind of an emergency. I have a swimming pool at my apartment, thank God. Kind of thank God. My neighbors don't seem to really give a fuck about social distancing and have had parties every single weekend. And one of my neighbors came up to me when I was laying by the pool the other day and asked me if I'd fix her swimming suit. What's the polite way to be like, there's a pandemic. I don't know what you have. Like, stay 6 feet away from me. And I was just like, I'm not really good at that stuff. And I just like from afar looked and was like, oh, it doesn't look crooked to me. And she goes, oh, okay, thank you. And laid down. But I was just like, dude, come on. Like, do you live in a fucking hole? And like, and it's my landlord. So a lot of people are coming to my pool that don't live here. And whatever you feel, like, I tend to stand on the side of science and doctors, and I'm going to just listen to what they're saying. I love that there's a lot of people out there who, to my knowledge, don't have any science degrees at all, who seem to know a whole lot about how to stop this thing. I think it's mostly the people I know that are like, I want to go out. I don't like being alone. Like, it's mostly those people are like, the government can't make me live my life or can't stop me from living my life. That whole bullshit. Those are the people that are the most mad about this are the ones that like can't stay home alone. It's just like, that means you're bad company. Sorry, but it's true. Wow, I'm a little snarky this morning. I've been up since very early because my neighbor has been boxing for 4 hours. Who wants to help me kill him? It might be a them. I have no idea. I haven't walked out to see, and I feel like I don't want to get into some conversation or whatever. But I peed in the pool yesterday. No one was around, and I was already in the pool. So it's not like I got in the pool to pee, and like my neighbors were having the big party or whatever, but like no one was around, and I was in the pool, and it hit me really suddenly. Like, I have this problem. It didn't hit me suddenly. That's a lie. That's a bold-faced lie. I'm sorry. I promised I wouldn't lie to you. I have this problem where I don't like going to the bathroom. I find it very inconvenient. I think it's a waste of time. You have to stop at whatever you're doing. Find a bathroom. If you have a bathroom, excuse yourself. Like, the whole thing gives me so much anxiety. And I know that there's probably a lot of trauma work or something I'm going to have to do around that, because like normal people don't have anxiety about just going to the bathroom. I typically hold it until the last possible second. And then when it becomes like an emergency, I peed my pants like, I don't know, like 6 years ago, like 5 feet from my toilet, because I waited too long, and I was like running, I was like outside. I was at a bar with my buddy Whitney, and we were gonna come back to my place, and we were like, oh, we'll meet you there. And I was like, I kind of have to pee, but I'm like, I live like 6 minutes away. It'll be fine. So I hop in the car, and then the further I drive, the further I have to pee even more. And then I get to I park, and I'm like it's like one of those situations where I'm like, all right, you know, just like trying to like gear up, like trying to, like, I was like, find the keys right now and then run. So I run, and then of course I drop the keys. So then I have to find the key to open up the gate, and then I have to find the key to like get into my apartment, and then I finally get into my apartment, and then I run to my toilet, and literally like, I'm gonna say 3 feet from my toilet, like I was in the bathroom, and I just peed my pants. Like it just happened. I looked down, and I was like, it was like one of the realest moments where I was just like, I'm actually peeing my pants, and I couldn't stop it. It was like a freight train. There was no stopping it. And then I didn't know what to do, because I really liked those pants. So I took off all my clothes, not all of them, just like Donald Duck style, you know, and I put my pants and my underwear in a plastic bag, cleaned up. And then for those of you who are listening, who are I don't know if everyone's brain thinks like me, but I would be like, did she shower after that? I horrors bathed it up, and then, which is like taking a washcloth to the scene of the crime, and gross. Why would I say any of that? And so and then I put all the like my underwear and my socks, because yeah, I got the socks, dude, and it was a pee, and I couldn't stop it. It was like the pool yesterday. I couldn't stop it. And so I put it in. This, by the way, if you haven't gathered, is your too much Kimformation for this episode. I put it in the plastic bag, and then I didn't want to get rid of it because I loved both of the pants and the underwear, and then, you know, the socks were just part of it. So I put it on the door of my bathroom, and then Whitney came over, knocked on the door, and I opened the door, and he's standing there, and I'm not wearing pants now. Like I had shorts on, like I didn't answer the door, like fully buff from the waist down, just vagina hanging out. He'd have way more questions than what happened to your pants. I guess that would be the question. But he did ask, he go, oh, you changed? Where's your pants? And it wasn't like hot out. So, and I had nothing to say. I just looked at him for a little bit, and then I looked down in shame and was like, oh, I peed my pants. And he goes, oh, okay. And then he had to use the restroom, and I was like, oh, the plastic bag full of clothes that smell like urine, those are the pants. I don't know what to do with them. Those pants were never the same. I tried to wash them a couple of times. They always smelled like pee. Always. So I was in the pool, and it was an emergency because I hold it for too long. Like, I drink a ton of water. Not that much. I want to drink more. I don't know why I'd lie to you. I drink half as much as what I'm supposed to, which makes me terrified. I pee all the time. So if I start drinking the amount that I really want to start drinking, which is 1 gallon a day, because it's really good for your skin, I'm told, and your human body, or your regular body, whatever you guys call it. I don't know why I'd say human body. For your body, and like for that. So, but I'm like, if I pee this much now and I drink a half a gallon of water, what's going to happen when I drink a full-blown gallon of water? So I'm in the pool, and I'm holding it, and then all of a sudden it just came out. And, you know, we all remember peeing in the pool as a kid. And those of you who are all snippety or like, I never peed the pool as a kid, congratulations. I don't believe you at all. What kid in their right mind didn't pee in the pool? I peed in the pool constantly. And then it came out that they made a chlorine that made a ring around you. And like, I still risked it, which leads me to believe that was like an urban legend. Yeah, an urban legend that there was chlorine that would like out you for peeing in the pool. Because for a while I was like scared, so I would just like slowly pee and like walk around the pool, just making sure like I was like, spread out. They're never gonna know it's me. But like then I just started going at it, and like there was never a ring. There never was. I didn't have a large amount of friends in those days, so maybe that was why. Maybe there was a ring and I had no idea, and people were like, ew, Kimmy Kral pees in the pool. But I haven't peed in the pool in years. Like, years. Like, I barely can pee in the ocean. Like, people pee in the ocean, right? And, like, I don't know. It's just, like, I get nervous. I have, like, a nervous bladder. But I peed in the pool yesterday, dude. Oh, I really peed in that pool. And then a few minutes later, like, I don't know how much later, but yeah, like 10 minutes later, this dude that I've never seen before, but I know he lives there, comes in, and I'm reading a book. I never understand this. I don't know. And if you're one of the people that don't, maybe you just don't realize that, or you don't have social cues, but like everyone I've asked is like, oh yeah, I would never talk to that person. Like, I don't get the people. I don't know you, sir. I am reading a book. I don't know why you need to interrupt said book, but he did 5 times. 5 times. And the only solace I had was like, that dude's peeing in my, or swimming in my pee. Like, leave me alone. So he comes in and he makes a ruckus. So I look up from my book and he goes, man, quarantine's easier with a pool, right? And I didn't ignore him. I just like smiled and nodded and then went back to my book. That should be cue of like, I'm reading a book and like, I don't know, like maybe I'm a dick. I don't know. But like, I'm reading this terrible murder mystery and I'm really into it. And like, I want to know who fucking murdered all these people. And I don't want to talk to some random dude at the pool. So he jumps in and then he, luckily like he had enough wherewithal not to like jump in. Someone the other day just like jumped in and splashed everything. And it was just like, God, what, who are all, like, just, I just can't. The level of inconsideracy. I'm sorry. I'm grumpy in this podcast, I guess. I don't know if I sound that grumpy, but I feel like I sound like I'm just bitching. That's what's happened when you wake up every morning for the last week to some dude boxing outside your window. At least wait till like 10 a.m. I don't know. But so then he jumps in and then he's like, oh, it's really cold. I hate forced small talk. I hate it when I bartend. I just like, I'm comfortable in my own skin to sit here in silence, stranger. Like, I love talking to everybody if it's not like forced small talk. But like, the weather's hot, fuck off. Just we don't have to talk. We don't, like, right? Like, am I wrong in this? Like, so I'm reading my book and he's like, oh, the pool's really cold. And I don't look up. I don't say anything. And then he says it again. And I was like, what? He's like, I said the pool's really cold. And I went, oh, And I went back to my book. And then a few minutes later, he goes, you know, I'm moving out soon. And I was like, what? And he goes, I'm moving out soon. And I'm like, okay. He goes, I got a bunch of stuff if you want to come look at it, if you want any of it. What? And I was like, oh, I'm good. Thank you. And then he stood there and stared at me while I read my book for a few minutes. Like, what the like, leave me alone. And then I don't know if he was just jumping in to cool off, but that raised a whole bunch of other questions. If I'm going to go down to the pool and jump in, it's a commitment for a couple of hours because then you got to go back and shower. I guess for a dude, it's not really that hard to shower. You just like pop in, pop out. But if I get my hair wet in the pool, I got to wash my hair. It's like a whole ordeal. I guess this fella didn't really have to deal with that because he had short hair. I don't know. But then he stayed for a couple of more minutes and then he was like, well, have a good day. And I was just like, you too, dude. I mean, the whole exchange took like 15 minutes. And to be fair, he was swimming around in my piss. So like, who really lost in that situation? I don't understand. I just don't understand the small talk. And I don't know. I tell this to some of my friends and they look at me like I'm the dick. And I'm like, am I a dick? Am I supposed to talk to every Tom, Dick, and Harry that is standing near me and wants to strike up a conversation? No, I don't want to. I don't know. I also am one that like, I have a couple of girlfriends who are like, you're the worst to go to bars with and get hit on. Cause I'm just like, I'm not interested. Like, I don't know. I mean, I've like one time I was at a bar watching the Broncos, and you guys, if you know me or if you've listened so far, you know, and if you don't, here it is. I love the Denver Broncos. I bleed orange and blue. I'm not the broad that goes to the sports bar with the Broncos shirt on, hoping that you talk to me about football because I'm hoping to get hit on. No, I'm the broad that goes to the sports bar to watch my football game. I don't want to be hit on. I want to watch my football game. So one time I was at a bar in Hollywood with 2 of my friends, and the Broncos were playing the Raiders. It was a Monday night, and it was a really fucking close game. I think the Raiders ended up winning, which was really shitty. I just remember 3 Raider fans behind me doing the annoying Raider thing. Sorry, I'm friends with a lot of Raider fans, so when you're listening, I'm not sorry. It is an annoying Raider thing. They're standing behind me, and they're like, Raiders! What is that? You're also not ever really that good. Like, the Raiders have been good, like they've been good sometimes. But like in the long run of football, it's like you've been bad more than you've been good. Oh man, like The Raiders were really good. Like, okay, the Broncos were really good, and then we lost our quarterback, and then we went to the Super Bowl and won. The Raiders were really good, and then they lost their quarterback, and then their team crumbled like a piece of paper. So, I don't know. That's just my little Raiders shit talking right there. So I'm a diehard Bronco fan, and we're playing the Raiders. I believe we lost. I think it was a really bummer of a night. But I'm sitting there, and my girlfriends are sitting like it's like an L, and they're sitting on one end of the L, and I'm at the other end. So there's a corner in between us. And so this guy comes up, this like hot dude. He was hot too. I know a lot of people are like, if he was hot, you probably would have talked to him. No, once again, I'm there to watch my football game. Wow, I'm really grumpy in this episode. Should I call it the grumpy episode? Jesus, do you hear the ambulance or the fire? That's so scary. So I'm watching the game, and this hot dude comes up to me, and he's like, hey. And without looking away from the TV, I went, what's up? And he's like, oh, you're a Bronco fan? And I said, no, I just wear this jersey so idiots like you come over and talk to me. And then he went, oh, okay. And then he tried to he's like, so you're from Denver? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, how long have you lived in LA? I was like 15 years. And he's like, I'm Brian. And I looked at him and I was like, Brian, can we do this during commercial breaks, please? Can we? And he was like, oh, yeah, I'm sorry. I just, and he was so, like, maybe I'm the dick there. I don't know, but I was watching my football game. The game was on. You guys would feel that way if a girl came up and was like, hi, I'm, whatever. Like, it's just, and then my girlfriends text me because he got up and left. Obviously, of course, I wouldn't talk to that person either. They text me and they're like, the hottest dude in the bar just came and talked to you and you basically told him to fuck off. I love the Broncos. I don't know. But so I don't like forced small talk in general. It just, I don't know. I just don't get it. I don't understand it. If you think I'm a dick for saying all this, please DM me and explain to me why forced small talk is great. Like, I don't know. I'm just not particularly lonely. So when I see another human, I'm not like, oh, I need human interaction. And maybe lucky me, because like I think most people who do forced small talk are probably particularly lonely human beings. Oh my God, I just got to that conclusion all on my own. I mean, like I can have empathy for them, but do I have to like save everybody that feels lonely? No. So yeah, I peed in my neighbor's pool, or my pool the other day, or yesterday. I just realized that I went onto this big rant, and it all started with me peeing in the pool. I do pee in the shower every day. Every day I pee in the shower. I don't know. I think like 15 years ago, I was like really trying not to pee in the shower, but then I just kind of accepted that that's what I do. And you know what? If you don't pee in the shower, I feel like you're lying. Like, I don't know if everyone pees in it every day. I don't know. You're in there, you're getting clean. It's like right away. I do think so. Like, so I also brush my teeth in the shower. I guess that's weird. I don't know. The more people I've told that to, they're like, you do what? But yeah, I brush my teeth in the shower. And then I also pee in the shower. And over the course of a couple of years, I cannot believe I'm telling you this. Over the course of the last decade or so, they usually it's just how it happens, because I do it, like I brush my teeth right when I get in the shower, and then it started happening where I'm doing both at the same time. And now when I pee, now I can't believe I'm telling you this. There's another fun one I'm going to tell you that it's going to be an uncomfortable confession. Now when I pee in the shower, it's like a Pavlov's Law situation, like the dog that they would like ring a bell and then feed it for a while, like they were doing the psychology experiment, and then they started ringing the bell without feeding the dog, and they noticed the dog saliva entered their mouth. Salivated, that's the word. And so like, that's like, I don't know what comes first, if I start peeing and I feel the need to I think it's that I start brushing my teeth and my body's like, oh, it's pee time. Because when I brush my teeth at night, my body's like, oh, it's pee time. Not that I brush my teeth on the toilet. I have, though. But that's not a regular occurrence. I brush my teeth in the shower, and I pee in the shower, man. I do. My Aunt Amy's birthday was the other day. And she passed away like 2 years ago, and this woman was like my mom. And I don't know, I just wrote contrary to how this sounds, I do have sort of a list of things, but really that I want to talk about. Really, it is like what happens is throughout the week before I record, I just like write down something that pops in my head that I think will be fun to talk about in here. So I do have a list in front of me, and I wrote Aunt Amy, her birthday. So this is going to be the I'm one grateful broad, or I'm one lucky broad section of the podcast. I'm one lucky broad to have had Aunt Amy in my life. My mother was not around much, and when she wasn't really a mother to me. It's such a hard topic for me, so it may not be something that I dive right into for a long time, but my mom just wasn't around, and my Aunt Amy just really stepped up. So my Aunt Amy was like my mom, or a second mom to me. And she passed a couple of years ago, and which was really difficult. It was awful. But I just want to I'm one lucky broad for having a woman like her step up. This woman was so fucking fearless. And every time I'm scared of something or like hesitant to do something, I think of my Aunt Amy. Like, I'm pretty fearless in general. Like, oh my God, my ear's ringing. That means someone's talking about you, I think. Or I'm going crazy. But like, I'm one lucky broad to have her, because I'm pretty fearless in terms of like what I'll talk about. Like, this podcast is an example. Like, nothing's really off the table for me, and I'll try anything once, and like, I do a lot of fearless shit, but I'm scared a lot. Like, I'm really scared. Like, the news of this podcast possibly going live really scares me. I'm really fucking scared, and I'm trying to like, just like all the normal feelings of like, what if it doesn't translate there? What if I'm not good enough? What if I'm not funny enough? What if all the stuff that I think most humans have. And anytime I think about that, I think about my Aunt Amy. This woman was so fucking fearless, just like, and didn't give a fuck what anybody thought of her. Like, I remember when I was in high school and I was a cheerleader, and I wasn't one of the popular cheerleaders. I don't know why I kept trying out for this squad. I wasn't very good. I couldn't even do a cartwheel. Like, I still can't do a cartwheel. I can't even do a push-up currently. But back when you're like young and supposed to be able to do that shit, I couldn't do any of that. And I wasn't good. Like, I was like, if you watch the old videos, which I'm sure some of you, if you went to high school with me, I know those videos got into other people's hands than just the cheerleaders. But if you watch some of those videos, the dances, I am so tall and gangly. Like, I weighed like 90 pounds and I was so much taller. Or I was like the same height freshman year, and then I shot up, and then I was still like the same weight. I was so skinny. So this like bean pole is like a half a second behind everyone. I don't know if I was just lazy and didn't want to learn the dance moves, or if I just couldn't figure out how to learn the dance moves. Like, I couldn't comprehend them. But like, I'm watching everyone as I'm doing them. Like, I'm so bad at it, right? Like, it was just not a good. And then I also wasn't like the most popular girl. Like, the cheerleaders were so popular, and I just was not in the clique. I mean, they were kind to me, whatever, but like, I wasn't the one who was going to parties with them. Like, I was so painfully shy. Not always, like, around the popular group, I like made them my like higher power. You know what I mean? Like, I like made them like whatever they thought of me mattered the most. And that's a high school thing. But like, so I wasn't a popular cheerleader at all. And I was so awkward and so shy. And we would have practice during the summertime. We'd have practice every morning at like 7 a.m. or some shit, which is so cruel. So cruel. I think it was 7 or 8 a.m. And that was already a nightmare, because I didn't have a mom, and my dad worked. So like and I didn't drive for the first couple of years. So oh my God. And when I did drive, Jesus, just the whole, so like, I look back on those practices are just so much like embarrassment, just like, but I didn't know how to get there. I couldn't get to the practice, right? And it was like far enough away. And I wasn't really like, I'm sure if I like had the balls to like ask one of the girls, they would have taken me, but I was so nervous around them. So I would have to like ride my bike, and riding your bike home in the summer after practice, God, it was so hot. It would take me so long. But like, and so my birthday's in the summer. It's June 18th, if you want to write that down. My birthday's in the summer. And so the morning of my birthday, I did practice, and I didn't tell anybody it was my birthday, which I've already mentioned on the podcast before. You look like a weirdo when you don't let people know it's your birthday. I don't know why. You just look like a weirdo. Everyone's like, it's your birthday? And you're like, yeah. So we went through all of practice. I didn't tell anybody it was my birthday. And then my Aunt Amy, so we practiced on this big lawn, and and then there was like the road lined the lawn and then came into the parking lot. I don't know if I'm describing that right, but you can see all the cars coming in. And my Aunt Amy pulls down it was my 16th birthday too, which was like a huge birthday. My Aunt Amy pulls down the long road to the junior parking lot, is what it's called. And we're all practicing. And she's in this minivan with my cousin Adrian and Jeff in the back. and her whole torso is out of the van, honking the horn like crazy, screaming, "It's Kim's birthday! Happy birthday, Kim! Happy birthday, Kim!" Like screaming nonstop, like all the way till she parked, and then just honked and honked and honked. And all the cheerleaders turned and looked at me, and they were like, "It's your birthday?" And I was like, "Yeah." And they weren't like, "Oh, it's your birthday," but it was more like, "Why wouldn't you tell us?" Like, they wished everyone happy birthday. They always brought balloons, but like that sort of attention at that time made me feel like I wanted to throw up. But my aunt, who is like my mom, like, what a big day, you know what I mean? Like, so embarrassing. But I look back on that and I was like, that lady didn't give a flying fuck what anybody thought of her. And she like pulls up, and then we went and took my driver's test. She took me to take my driver's test, and I passed. Obviously I passed. Although the instructor said something a little unnerving that I look back on sometimes when I drive. He was like, "You did a great job, except for you don't really pay attention when you drive. So you're probably going to need to work on that. Here's your driver's license." It's like, isn't that like the main, you follow the rules they wrote down, you know, the stoplights and the merging and all that bullshit. Like, you follow the rules and you pay attention. It's like 2 rules in driving. But I got my license. Like, how I always describe Amy, and this is so funny. This is like, oh man, I wrote this. So when she died, you could write in an online this like memory book, and I didn't okay, so you could write a memory in this memory book online. And so I told that story, and then I said this next thing, but I said a whole lot of fucks. Just a lot of fucks. I don't know why I needed to write so many fucks in that memory, but I mean, I just put fucks so many times. And then we're at the funeral, and they're having this like picture slideshow. Oh yeah, I posted it on Facebook. That's what it was. I posted it on Facebook. You know, when someone passes, you write like a nice little thing or whatever. It's like our now digital obituary. And so I posted this thing, and then at the funeral, they asked us to, if you wanted to post a photo or like a memory of her before the funeral started, because they were doing like this photo slideshow. Oh my God, I'm so embarrassed. So I looked at her daughter, my Adrienne, who's like my sister. I look at her and I was like, "Oh, should I post that photo of Amy and I, and then like that memory I put on Facebook?" And she goes, "Yeah, it was a really nice memory." So I put it up, and then they slowly play the memory so everybody can read it. And Amy's mom, Vi, is like 90, and she's sitting in the front row reading every single fuck that I thought I needed to write in that memory that I didn't even think I should like look at before I posted it up there. And that's not what's the most embarrassing thing. One time they play it, cool, we can get through it. But then not a lot of people posted the photo. I was like one of 4. So it was like an hour before the funeral started that they just played this memory over and over, and I was just like, who do I talk to? And people are looking at me like I am saying I probably put 25 fucks in that thing. I don't know. Now I look back, no regrets. Like my Uncle Steve, her husband, the next few days, he goes, "Yeah, I read that. Why did you say fuck so much?" But then the other day on Amy's birthday, her son called me and said, Jeff, who's like my brother, he just had a little boy of his own. And he goes, I missed her today. So I read the memory book to my son, who's like an infant. So it's not like he's yelling fuck at his son, but like who's like an infant. And he goes, "And I loved reading your memory." And I was like, "Did you bleep me out?" And he goes, "Oh no, I said all the fucks." And I was like, it's good the kid knows where he came from, you know? Oh man, so embarrassing. I hear a noise, and I hate looking every time I'm in here, but I hear a noise. Okay, my cat's lost interest, and there's no man standing and watching me with a potato sack on his head. I know that sounds crazy, or Darth Vader. I'm terrified of or Johnny Depp. I have a whole Johnny Depp thing I think I've mentioned. He's so scary. He's so creepy, dude. And so one of the things I talked about how fearless this woman was. This woman was so fucking fearless. Like, this is the best way to describe Amy. Like, we're all standing on a cliff, right? Like, we're all standing on a cliff. There's a big thing of water below, and we're all debating if we want to cliff dive, like cliff jump, right? Like, we're all like scared of cliff jumping. And as we're debating, Amy has already handed her cigarette and her beer to one of us, and is like, you just see her body jumping over the cliff. Like, this bitch was so fucking fearless. So every time, like, it's been a fearful week for me, like in terms of like just a lot of really fun career news, but a lot of like, I've kind of gone through some like 2 sort of breakups in this quarantine. One with, you know, one with my old Dash show, which feels like a breakup, even though it, some beginning or some ending, all endings have new beginnings, you know what I mean? And then also right before, I got ghosted by a guy that I really liked a lot. And he just ghosted me. So like it's in the world, if we had a regular world right now, I wouldn't probably be still bummed out about this dude. But like, since we just have our thoughts and, trying to stay busy the best we can. But also, I really liked that guy, and getting ghosted sucks. So, I don't know. In all this, like, it's been a very fearful week, and it was, I don't know if the word apropos is the right one, but that it was Amy's birthday too, to remind me of how fearless she is and how fearless I can be. So I hope that little story tells you can be fearless too. And also, like, who gives a fuck? Like, Amy, Amy never gave a fuck what anybody thought of her, and she's gone now. So like, it didn't matter. Like, she could have lived her life not like giving a fuck about what everybody thought, like giving a real fuck what everybody thought, and changed her behavior according so, and she'd still be dead. So instead, she lived her life fearless, not caring what anybody thought. So I don't know. That's an awesome reminder for me, and maybe for you too. We're winding down, and I promised I would tell you, I haven't gotten to the poop scoop yet, guys. And the poop scoop is, I don't know if I've told one other, maybe two other people this story, and the look they gave me was like, you did what? I mean, you think, like, after hearing all this, like, it's so hot in my closet, by the way. Like, it was like overcast when I came in here, and now I'm just like pouring sweat. The sweat stash is in overdrive, dude. It's so in overdrive. It's just like I'm like rubbing that thing like I have a cocaine problem. So, oh man, you think I get used to people looking at me going, you did what? Like me saying I pee in the shower every day. You'd think I'd get used to people thinking I wasn't from the planet, or that I was totally weird. But this story, so there is this, I am a comedian, and I go to a lot of open mics, right? And there is an open mic at a place in Hollywood, in Silver Lake. It's right next to Hollywood if you don't live here. And it's like a little divey bar called the Silver Lake Lounge. And every Sunday there's like a massive mic. Not anymore, unfortunately. The Silver Lake Lounge shut down pre-pandemic, I believe, but still such a bummer, because such a cool mic and such a cool bar. So one Sunday I was there for the mic, and it was like I had to poop, and it was like a emergency poop too. And those bathrooms already smell like a dead body. Like, those are some of the grossest bathrooms I've ever gone to the bathroom in my whole life. And that's saying something, because I've worked in some divey ass bars, dude. So like, I go in the bathroom. Oh man, I go in the bathroom and I poop. And I know everybody in this bar, by the way. I know every single person. I know the bartender. I know the guy who runs it. I know every comic in there. I know every single person. And there's a lot of people. And there's a line forming. And so I poop. And then the toilet doesn't flush. And I don't know what to do. And like, it was like a split, quick decision that, like, even now in hindsight, I look back and I go, why did you do that? Like, I wasn't thinking. It wouldn't flush. And there was this big turd in there, and I didn't know what to do. So just like without thinking, I wrapped my hand in paper towels and I grabbed the poop out of the toilet and threw it in the trash can. Yeah, that's what I did. I threw it in the trash can, and then I buried it in the bottom of the trash can, and then I washed my hands. Like, the thought of everyone in that bar knowing that I plugged the toilet was much more horrifying than me touching my own poop. I didn't touch the poop though. Like, I wrapped it in paper. I wrapped it, and then once I pulled it out, I really wrapped it up, because I didn't want the bartender to have to touch it. And more than likely, you just dumped it. And once again, this bathroom smelled like a dead body. It smelled like a dead body. So like the poop wouldn't have smelled. It would have just smelled like a little bit more poop and a little bit of a big dead body. Oh man. And then I came out and there was a line, and then I vowed to myself I would never tell anyone that story. So if you've ever done anything that's really shameful or questionable when it comes to plugging a toilet, please DM me. I'm getting messages saying you're thinking about submitting to Poop Scoop. I don't want to hear think. I want to hear these stories. God damn it. Obviously I have a whole segment on my podcast about poop. I love Poop Scoops. So please send me your stories. And if you want, I'll keep them all anonymous. I don't expect everyone to have as little shame as I have. Oh man, my buddy this week, I can't stop thinking about this. my buddy, my buddy is an editor for I'm gonna keep him anonymous so I can't tell, but he's an editor for a pretty big show. And before pandemic, he was, or no, I think it was like mid-pandemic when he was still being able to go into the office to edit. He's in his office and he farts really bad, like a really smelly one. And right as he does, some girl comes in, and then the star of the show, and it's a big show, so it's kind of a big actor, comes in his office, and they start talking to him. And he goes, I don't know what to do. So I just talk to him and pretend nothing happened. I know that they can smell the fart because I can smell the fart, but I don't want to say anything. And I can't stop thinking about that. I was like, I think it's less embarrassing if you would have just said something. Tell me I'm wrong here. Someone DM me. KYMKRAL. Someone DM me and tell me if I'm right or wrong. I feel like it's less embarrassing to be like, oh God, so embarrassing. I didn't know anyone was going to come in here and I farted. That's what that smell is. Then not say anything and have those two leave and think you're the stinky guy forever. They're going to leave and just think that's what your office smells like. And maybe they'll come back and it won't smell, but God forbid you accidentally fart again. And then in my experience, of course they're going to come right back in after you fart again in a couple of weeks. Of course they are. That's just how life works out. So then they're going to come in twice and it's going to smell like that. And then you'll forever be known as the stinky guy. I can't stop thinking about this. And when I asked him, he's like, well, I guess he was rehired on this show and they didn't like him before and now they like him, and they didn't remember who he was before, something like that, but he's just now got a good reputation on the show and he didn't want to come off as a weirdo. I don't know though. I think it's more weird to be the smelly guy than the guy who just farts alone in his office. I can't stop laughing about that. Oh man. Oh guys, I started watching Breaking Bad. You're not going to like this. You're not going to like this. I wrote a status update about it on Facebook. It's so hot in here. What if I passed out in the middle of one of the episodes? That'd be fucking great. That'd be so funny. If I was okay, I guess. Oh, I burped. Sorry. You're not going to like this. I posted about it on Facebook, and man, that post really went off the rails. I am afraid to go back and read it. Read all the comments because people seem real mad. People love this show. I don't know, man. I'm episode 4 and it's just I don't like it. And I just don't I think I was trying to figure out what rubbed me wrong the most. First of all, I don't care about these two idiots. The one crackhead or the meth head, Aaron Paul, I think the actor's name is, he's the only redeeming quality that he has so far that I've seen, it happened in episode 4 when he took the blame for his and why is his brother I guess I have a brother that's 17 years younger than me. I guess that's doable, but his brother that's 40 years younger than him, he took the blame, and who is not old enough to even know what pot is. That kid is so small. I also don't know the ages of the kids, but that kid looks like he's 5, but he took the blame for his joint and got kicked out, and that was the only redeeming quality. And then Walter, man, the only, you just feel uncomfortably bad for him the whole time, the first couple of episodes. And the only time I started to like him is when he punched out that kid who was making fun of his handicapped kid in the fucking retail store. That should have been done they should have done that way earlier. Maybe I fly off the handle, but I would have said something to that guy. Fuck that guy, right? But that's the only 2 times that I saw those 2 characters that I might care about them. Although Walt, I do care about. It is really sad because it is the whole what happens in America if you get cancer. That's what you look at it as his only option was to make meth, because otherwise he would die and leave his family with $100,000 in debt and all just bananas. But then I started I'm it can't just be that, because but I think it's the women on the show. I think shows that I like, the women they don't have to be the lead character, but they are strong or good or something. I don't know. The wife is just whiny and a damsel in distress. Everything is just I don't know. She just whines the whole, she's just not a good character. And I hear she just gets worse. She's the stereotypical Midwest housewife, and that's just not how it is. That's just not how like I know a lot of Midwest housewives. I'm that age, and like none of them are that whiny and bitchy at their husband. That's just a stereotype, and it's annoying. And then her sister's just shitty. Like all the women on the show are just shitty, and so like I don't know, just I don't like the portrayal. And I'm told that it's slow for the first season. Thank God it's like 7 episodes, and just give it a chance. So I will, but like I don't know. And also like it took him way too long to kill that guy. Took him way too long. And why didn't he just poison him? Like, he already planned on killing the other 2. And I guess it was when they were, like, imminent threats. But, like, you already killed the one guy. And you seem to, like, make that decision pretty quickly. And then also, when he pulled that plate out, he should have pulled that plate out way sooner. I thought about it immediately. I was like, oh, that guy, well, I guess we saw it. I don't know. But, like, I don't know. Out loud, I was like, don't put your hands in a meth head's trash can. I feel like that's just good advice. Like, you never know what's in there. They poop and puke a lot. And he also poops in that guy's bathroom way too much. Like, I don't know the whole show, but I'll watch it, guys. I guess. I don't know. I know a few people have texted me and they're like, look, I watched 3 episodes, thought it was stupid, and I never looked back. I did that with The Sopranos. I tried for like 4 or 5 episodes. Maybe it was just dated, but I just was like, nope, can't get through 9 seasons of that. Oh man, you guys, it's really hot in here. This was a fun episode. I'm going to end with this. I started doing this new workout. So I did 30 days of yoga, and now I found, so in high school, I took this aerobics class every semester by this woman named Miss Cook. Man, she hated me. I don't know why she hated me so much. Like, I clearly didn't have that many friends, and I was so awkward, but maybe she saw that I could do better than I was doing, because I never really tried in her class. And like, we had to take the same final every semester, the same final. She never ever changed it. She basically gave us the study guide. I'm not proud of this. She gave us the study guide that basically like, you just had to memorize the answers. They were the study guide was the test. And I took this test 9 times, and I swear to God, I couldn't get past a C. I got a D a couple of times. I got a C a couple of times. I don't know if I'm just a bad test taker, but then if you got the test wrong, you could retake it, and then I'd get the same grade, and then you'd have to walk the bleachers. So I was always walking those bleachers. Man, she hated me. I don't know why. Like, I look back on her, and she was probably like my age now. I just can't imagine. I don't know. She just didn't like me, but she would play these workout videos. We did like these old dated, they're really dated now, but she would do like this was like 2000, 99, 2000, and she would play 1980s videos. But they were so hard. I remember they were so hard, and I wasn't in good shape at all. So like, I would do my best, but then like, so the other day, it's been driving me crazy. I'm looking for new workouts, and I was like, what was that guy's name? It's this like the wild Italian guy. And then I finally found him. I even like DM'd a bunch of people from my high school who took that class with me. And I was like, hey, what was his name? It was Gilad. And you can get he has his own channel on Amazon Prime that you have to pay like $10 a month for, but you can do a 30-day free trial. So I'm on it now. And I've done 2 workouts. They were so hard. Like, I'm in better shape now, I think, than I was then. And like, I'm like so sore. And that's not the kicker about the whole thing. The crazy part about the whole thing is that we would do these really sweaty workouts, and our showers at our gym, like in my high school, weren't used. I've never seen anybody use them. So we would do that, and then we'd come back down and then just change back into our regular clothes and go to math class. Like, how were we not sweatier? Of course I had no friends. I mean, I had some friends, but like, I don't know. I think about that a lot. I've thought about that a lot in the last couple of hours. I also was thinking about, so there was this girl, and I think about this broad probably once every couple of months since high school. I wonder where she is now. Her name was like Leslie or something. I should look her up in one of my yearbooks. I gotta dig one of those out. You know those people that still have their yearbooks out, like displayed? That's so bizarre to me. I have them in a box somewhere, but I should look this broad up and see where she is. So we'd have to pick a partner, and I always kind of felt bad for her because she didn't have any friends. Like, I didn't have a lot of friends, but she didn't have any friends. And so I'd always partner up with her. And just to do like sit-ups in like, in the weight room. And then Miss Cook decided that we were going to start doing these sit-ups where you would put your head in between. This is so gross and such a weird way to end this thing. This podcast has been me really angry and really especially gross. Sorry. I would put where you'd put your head in between their feet, on your back, right? And then you would kick your legs up, and then they would push them down, and then you would like restrain from hitting the ground. It's a really good ab workout, actually. But when the first time we did it, I put my head down there, and guys, that was the first time I realized that like dudes tell you when you're like, I've heard since I was a little, like teenager that vaginas could smell like fish, and like mine never did, so I just thought it was like this broad, it smelled like a fish factory down there, like, and I was like 3 feet away. She was tall, 3 feet away, like I wasn't like up in there, I was like by her feet. I think about that broad all the time. I think about what she had and if anybody ever helped her or if she figured it out at some point. Such a weird way to end the thing. Jesus Christ. Oh, poor girl. I don't know how to come back from that. That was one of those things that I'm like, can I delete that? Probably not. Guys, this has been really fun. This is a lot of fun. Thank you so much for listening. Thank you for all your feedback. I read a lot of the rates or the reviews, and they bring tears to my eyes. It really means a lot to me. Stay tuned for some fun Kral Space updates. I'm very excited about this. I don't know how it's going to look, what it's going to be. I'm terrified, but I think it's going to be really exciting. And follow me on all the socials, KYMKRAL. And if you get a second and you like what you hear, please give it a subscribe, give it a rate, review. It takes just a few minutes, and it means so much. It means so much. Like, since I've been doing this, I realize I've been rating and reviewing all the podcasts I like, because now I didn't realize how important it was and how much it means to us. And it just takes a second. So if you could do that, that'd be really awesome. And, yeah, hit me up. Send me if you have any comments or questions of anything that went on today. And send me your poop scoop stories, or send me something you feel, one lucky broad, or too much information. I would love to start reading your guys' stories too. Yeah, so, whew. And if you want to see me live at Flappers or Saturday night, 7 o'clock, DM me and I will send you links and ticket info to both of those shows. I would love to see some familiar faces or supportive faces, because I'm very nervous about telling jokes in my living room. I won't wear pants. That's what I've decided. So it'll be at least funny to me. So this new episode of Kral Space drops every Wednesday at noon. Thank you guys so much for your support, and I will see you soon. Bye.